Hello everyone, my name of course is Danish Buns. It feels so good to be back, and it feels so good to be giving you guys another Noobs review. This is the premier show where you can watch a guy who is genuinely awful at games try and review them. Today I'm going to be talking about The Swindle, a brand new indie stealth platformer game created by Size 5 Games. It was released on July 28th for the PC, PS3, PS4, and PS Vita, and will be released on the Xbox One on August 7th, with potential future releases on the Wii U. Welcome to a steampunk London, where you make a living by crushing robot skulls and burglarizing as many homes as you can. Scotland Yard has finally had enough of your antics and is releasing some AI tech with the totally non-phallic name, the Devil's Basilisk. Obviously, we can't have any of that. Using ninja-like moves, your employees will be heisting as many different locations as possible within the allotted 100 days before the device is released. Once they have the aptitude and the know-how, they will be breaking into the belly of the beast and stealing the device from right beneath those snug Scotland Yard fellas' noses. Skill purchases along the way increase your thieves' abilities, allowing them to rob increasingly challenging locations. But be careful. Not all levels are fully completable. You'll have to balance your greed with your need and fight your way through each day, knowing that the clock is slowly and painfully ticking away your hope for success. The first thing I'd like to note about The Swindle is absolutely the art style. While there are quite a few games heading down the path of steampunk, many of them fail to fully capture the spirit of the style. But I found everything from the music to the sound effects to all the thieves' unique outfits successfully contribute to the game's atmosphere. While I do think the textures are not quite up to the resolutions I was expecting to see, especially at 1080p, I do think that The Swindle does a good job of making me feel a part of this whole steampunk, spray mist everywhere, engines don't really work, but whatever, we're back in the past, but it's somehow the future, I don't understand it atmosphere. Another positive aspect of this game is its progressively challenging gameplay. The procedurally generated maps not only present a varied challenge at every attempt, but also appear to make 100% completion legitimately impossible, leaving you to ponder out the risks and rewards of diving into every single challenge. You'll also find that the enemies and the map structure aggressively changes at each stage, so you're forced to learn how to play this much faster than you really would have liked. You're not eased into this at all, which is actually something nice to see in these sorts of games. And now, unfortunately, to some issues that I had with this game, the first being some of the moving and jumping mechanics. While I definitely understand the need to present challenges that require lightning dexterity, which is of course something I'm awful at, I felt that some of the underlying mechanics in the game just seemed a little off. For instance, wall jumping more than doubled a normal jump height, and I also found myself in a situation where I simply turned away from an edge and I was thrown off of it. So just be aware that some of the controls are not your friend and are actually looking to try and make you cry. I also had a bit of a problem with the lack of clear tutorials or instructions at the beginning of the game. Of course, I understand that these sort of games are based around the concept of trial and error, you know? For me, it's more of trial and suffering, but I get the point. The game begins without any hint of what the controls are or what you're supposed to do. So I actually ended up spending a couple of seconds aimlessly hitting a light, thinking that I could steal it before I realized, well, that was sort of silly. I also stealthed around the initial stage before realizing that literally no one cared. They were gonna punch me in the face whether I was silent or not. That's not to say that the game is completely devoid of any help. When you buy certain devices or tools, or you encounter weird new enemies, you do get some notification on what exactly is happening. I think that for initial players, it may be a little bit more beneficial to introduce the tools and game mechanics more thoroughly. Now, while I don't think that this game completely revolutionizes the platform gaming genre, I definitely think it presents a worthy challenge to anyone interested in stealth games, and that it really held its own. So if that's your cup of tea, go ahead and grab a copy. I'd rate this game 7.5 out of 10. That's it for me. I'm your neighborhood friendly foreign pastry. My name is Danish Buns, and I'll see you next time.